Hi, Jess. Thank you for coming in today.
Yeah,
How are you doing?
I am good.
Okay. Um, Last week when you were here, we were kind of starting, was our second meeting. Now it's our third meeting, and we're doing the CBT. We talked about this a little bit in the past two sessions, but we will talk about this some more. And last week I asked you to identify five characteristics of a friend that you value or seek. So can you share this characteristic with me?
You mean when asked for my friend what I want them to be?
Yes. Or what do you value in a friend? Yeah. What kind
Um,
of, yeah.
I think I want to I want them to be nice.
Okay.
Um, I don't want them to hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
I want someone me you know, and I don't speak very good English, so someone that speak my language. So,
Mm-hmm.
or if you speak English, you speak very easy English to understand. Um, I don't know.
That's it.
Sorry, I got sick yesterday because my friend, she at work, she brought her baby.
Oh,
Um, um, I want them to. I want to feel good when I'm with them. So someone real, someone I can feel, and they say the same thing.
okay.
Um, I want them to be my friend,
Mm-hmm.
to do fun things together, to make jokes and laugh and yeah.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Okay. Very good. And we're talking about this because we set the two goals, like the two big major goals in the previous sessions. And one of them was connected to, like what you just said, was to make a meaningful connection with at least one person. And that goes back to you mentioned that you feel isolated. And I want you to maybe talk a little bit, if you feel comfortable, with how did you feel this past week?
Uh, I I worked a lot and um, it's the same thing all the time. I go to work, I come back from work, I eat, I go to work again.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
The ladies at the shelters are nice, so I cooked with one of them.
Good.
Uh,
Okay.
but it's sometimes hard for me to be around outside of people. It's yeah, it's the same. Every week is the same.
Okay. Okay. So I want you to like think about the situation. So you kind of mentioned every week is the same. You go to work, you come back, but you did mention that you cooked with one of the ladies at the shelter and they are nice to you. But I want you to think about a situation where you felt isolated this past week.
Um, every time I think every time I go to the shelter, I just don't want to be in anybody's way. So I go to my bed and I like to look up TikTok videos. So I just watch TikTok videos. I sometimes when you're on the internet, you don't feel so alone,
Okay.
but
So you mentioned
but
you
it
don't.
happens.
Mhm.
I don't have one time. I have it often where like I don't have anyone. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know anyone.
Okay. Okay. And you mentioned you don't want to be in anyone's way.
Yeah.
What is that mean?
I just don't know if people want to be around me.
Okay.
Maybe maybe they do, maybe they don't. I feel like I don't want to upset anyone. I just want to it's not my home, If it's my home, it's
Mm-hmm.
different, but it's not my home. So
So now I'm going to write down. So we're looking at the situation where you mentioned coming back home from work and just kind of isolating yourself, looking at your phone, doesn't want to come out. And what was the thought that led it? So we're doing the CBT cognitive triangle. And I'm going to write it down just to kind of connect them to each other. So how the that's connected to your feelings, connecting to your behaviors. So you mentioned that I don't know if people want to be around me, which how does that make you feel?
Um, that I'm not good enough for people. Or that I don't know what to give people. I don't, how I feel, I feel. Sometimes I feel okay with it. Sometimes it makes me sad. And
Okay.
sometimes I like that I don't have to do a lot,
Mm-hmm.
for people. Um, yeah, it's a lot of feelings, but
Mm-hmm.
I feel lonely and I don't, sometimes I do want to do something about it. And sometimes it's like, it's good because,
Okay.
yeah,
And what happens after you think to yourself, for example, you said I'm not good enough, and then you feel sad or you feel lonely or both, and then what happened? Like this circle continue?
I try not, I, sometimes I feel sad and I cry. And sometimes I feel sad and I just look at the phone and I don't feel sad anymore.
Okay. So would you say it would be like avoiding people, maybe isolating yourself a little bit more?
Yeah.
Okay. Isolation, avoidance. So in here I have a little bit of a paper called cognitive that explain a little bit more about cognitive distortion. And I'm gonna give it to you, and I want you to kind of maybe learn a little bit more cognitive distortion or irrational thoughts, and they shape the way that you see the world, how you feel, and how you act. So just a little bit more of an explanation about different
I read this.
distortion. If you want to, you can take it with you as well. Um, I want you to just kind of connect it to this automatic thought. And then think if you came back from work and this thought would be something else. So you mentioned I don't know if people want to be around me, I'm not good enough. I want you to think, are those thoughts correct? But like, would your family and other friends, would they say those thoughts are accurate?
I don't know what they say. I just feel like I don't know how to be around people. Like, I don't know what to do if I'm around people. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what to say.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I it sometimes feels scary too if I'm around people and they talk to me and I'm not usually, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what would happen if you take this stats and you think maybe people do want to be around you? So let's take this stat. You come back from the hotel, and instead of thinking those stats, you say, people do want to be around me. How would that make you feel?
Make me feel better.
Okay.
Make me feel good.
And what would you do after that?
Um, if people want to be around,
Mm-hmm.
I'd be not afraid to be around them. I would probably go to the bathroom and go to the kitchen or
Okay.
find something to do.
Okay.
Um, but I like that thought. I just don't know how to think it because
Mm-hmm.
usually it happens in my head where I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
it's just too scary. People don't want to be around me. They
Mm-hmm.
just, I don't know what to say. I don't want to sound stupid.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So I want us to explore this a little bit more in the next few sessions. We will still be here and do some other things, but just gonna run through because we just did it, and you're gonna do very similar thing. And you're right, you have those automatic thoughts, and it's hard to disconnect them, like how you said. Like you feel a certain way about yourself, and you want to feel a different way, but you don't know how to change it. So I want us to just explore a little bit more. And that also connect to the self-esteem group that you're going to. And the second goal is to complete it, which will help a little bit more. Um, But slowly, slowly, we will we will get there. And for the next thing, so we're still tackling this isolation um thing.
Mhm.
I want us to role play having a conversation. So let's say you came back from work, and instead of isolating yourself, you think to yourself, people do want to be around me, um, and I would like to be around them. And then taking this situation and having a conversation with a friend. So we're gonna role play. I'll role play Jess, I will role play you, and then you would role play you.
Okay.
So the first one I'll play Jess and you'll play um a possible friend.
Okay.
And then the other one will switch. You'll play you and I'll
But I
play a
have a
possible
question.
friend. Yeah.
How do you not have anxiety when like you say people want to be around me? I don't know that if I'm always I have anxiety and I just don't know. I think they know.
Mm-hmm.
How do I do that?
Do you want to find like ways to decrease your anxiety, to like lower your anxiety?
Yeah, I
Okay.
don't. I think they know, and I think
Mm-hmm.
every
You
time I
feel they
want to
feel
be
it.
with someone, I'm just like too scary, too
Okay.
scary, too scary.
Let's do a little bit of called mindful breathing exercise. And we'll just kind of work on getting this anxiety a little bit under control, especially before we role play too. But that will be a good thing for real life as well. So now we're just kind of making up a scenario. But in real life, when you feel that way, like you go back to the shelter and you feel this anxiety, maybe step outside the door and just take a moment to do some breathing, which we're going to do now. And then when you enter, it might change a little bit. So for this, I want you to take a moment, close your eyes, feel comfortable. We'll just do a quick 30 seconds of this. So take a moment to just notice your breath. And as you just notice in your breath, you can start letting go of other things, focusing on your breath, but not manipulating it, releasing any judgment, inviting acceptance, being present in the moment. And as you do that, start to release your muscles, release your face muscles, maybe release your legs muscles in the seated position, releasing the tongue from the roof of your mouth, and take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, let go any of this anxiety, anything that bothers you, and slowly open your eyes. So for this role play, um, because we have a limitation of time, I think we're gonna skip it. But we did role play. And for the next session, we talked about the homeworks earlier a little bit, so I'm gonna give it to you. You can look at this as homeworks, but also maybe another way to tackle those negative thoughts, automatic thoughts, or distortions, as long with your other um, hand
I do this.
levels. You can do it, yeah, during the week. So you're gonna think about an event, something that happens that might um, trigger some automatic thoughts. And I want you to start just identifying them and then identify how they make you feel and how they make you behave. And then for each of the sections, are my thoughts accurate? Are my thoughts helpful? So you can do as many tasks as you want. It might happen one time this week, maybe two, maybe every day.
Can I write some of this on a journal because it's not
Of
big enough?
course. Yeah. Yeah. You can do it in a journal and then bring it next week. Do you have any questions?
Um, okay, so I can write this in my journal and just
Mhm.
write. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Okay. Okay, so we're gonna summarize a bit quick. And we went over what you identify as a valued friend And then we talked a little bit of isolation and how maybe those thoughts affecting your feelings, affecting your behavior, which can increase your isolation. And then find a way to release some of this anxiety using mindful breathing. We both play a conversation. Um, yeah. And then if there is anything else you want to ask, feel welcome.
I think I need to look for another job.
Okay. Okay. So we will work on that too. All right. Thank you.
Um,